So before we get into this video, I wanted to issue a warning off of the top because I'm someone who hates spoilers, and even though this isn't super spoilerish, it may be something you don't want to hear, but it's information that I thought was important and that I needed to get across to everyone who watches me, who watches American Horror Story, so that's why I'm doing the video. Now, personally, I do not like anything that could tell me what's going to happen in future episodes, but I accidentally came across an article that laid out some of the things that were going to happen in next week's episode and could potentially be the reason why next week's episode doesn't air, gets pushed back. I really don't know what's going to happen, if anything. So I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't want you to watch this video and be upset or mad at me, so I'm warning you off the top. If you don't want to know the plot line of what happens in next week's episode or what's supposed to happen, then you should feel free to click out of this now so that you don't hear something that you don't want to hear. Okay, so I have found out that next week's episode, which obviously was filmed a long time ago, will feature a mass shooting that happens at a political rally. Now, I'm telling you this because I wanted to get your opinion on what should FX, aka Fox, do considering we just had the mass murder in Las Vegas here in the United States just a few days ago. So I was wondering if you think it is okay for them to go ahead and air this episode or not, because in the past, episodes of TV shows that were connected to things in real life happening have been delayed. In Mr. Robot, there was an episode that depicted a cameraman and reporter being murdered, which actually happened in this season of American Horror Story, but on Mr. Robot, it was supposed to happen and air around the time that actually happened here in the United States, and that episode was held. Also, when we had the Columbine shootings in the United States back in the 90s, there was an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer which was featuring a person who was shooting up their school in a similar fashion, which was also delayed. So far FX has not made any statement, and they are not answering reporters' questions about what they will do with this week's episode. I know from the previews it did not depict any type of shooting like this, but that is supposed to happen. So that's why I did want to issue the disclaimer at the beginning. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that it's something you are able to watch? For me, when there's any type of disaster, horrific event where someone is bombed or people are shot in this fashion, and it's happened, in Europe, it's happened here multiple times, it's very hard for me to watch something with a similar theme. I'm also currently watching a show called Mr. Mercedes, where I believe the finale is going to go in that direction next week, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. They haven't kept that a secret, though, unlike this show, which I have not seen a preview depicting a mass shooting. So I just wanted to get feedback from you guys. Typically, I would not bring up current events in relation to American Horror Story, but considering this event is somewhat like what happened in real life in Las Vegas, what do you think the people at FX/Fox should do? Should they hold this episode? And if they hold this episode, what does that do for the rest of the season? Would that not push the season back pretty far? Because I'm sure other things happen in this episode that need to propel us into episode 7. And a lot of people have been asking me about episode 6 and do I think it will be significant, because it definitely has been significant in past seasons, especially last season. I don't really know, and I don't have any information about a twist or anything like that, so I won't share that with you. Even if I did, I wouldn't. So I don't know if other major things go down that will twist the way this season is going. But I just ask that you be respectful in your comments about what you believe or what you would do if you were making those decisions at Fox about whether or not to go on and air the episode and give people maybe a warning of some sort. There's different ways to look at it here. I'm just surprised this hasn't gotten more press, because personally I think people should be warned that this is going to be happening in the episode, because they're going to be caught off guard possibly. You may have people watching it who had friends or family actually affected in this shooting, who don't want to see anything like that. Now, to be honest, American Horror Story is very disturbing anyway, so I don't know if I was directly affected, if I could even watch this show, because it's so violent after I had either been involved in a violent act like that or knew someone personally who had. But I do think it's good to at least give a warning or something, because so far they have said nothing. I followed them closely on social media and nothing has been said about, be careful with next week's episode, or you may not want to watch, or whatever. And I know we're still a few days out, But I wanted to just pass this along to you and get your feedback. And then if you think they should hold the episode, what would you do from there? Because how does that affect the rest of the season? I would say, if you're asking me, at the very least, they need to issue some sort of warning. And I think they really should start doing that around Monday to let people know, because it's kind of too late after you're ready to watch to have that warning up there. I think people need maybe some time to think about it. And obviously everyone doesn't need time, and some people won't care and it won't affect you or bother you at all, and you'll want to go ahead and see the episode. But I will let you know personally that the Las Vegas incident, even though I didn't know anyone involved, I've been to Las Vegas many, many times. I've been in that area many times. I go to a lot of music festivals. So it has definitely affected me. It's haunting. I think about it all the time. And if they air next week's episode, I will probably watch, because that's kind of what I do here on YouTube with this show. But I was very bothered by last week's episode with the nail gun scene, and I expect to be more bothered with this mass shooting after what actually happened here. So thank you for your feedback with this video. If you are new here, I'm covering all of this season of American Horror Story. There's a playlist you can check out if you've missed the other episodes that I've covered. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, and thumbs up if you like a video like this where I'm kind of giving you some information behind the scenes about upcoming episodes. If so, I can always give you more news as it drops about the situation before Tuesday if you're interested in it. But I hope you can have a good weekend. I hope things are good with you, and I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Kelly TV. I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of the Kelly TV family. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter so you can keep up with all I'm doing.